Warning, the following episode contains gory descriptions of people being ripped apart and dismembered limbs. Viewer discretion is advised. Also, massive spoiler warnings for everything, just because we need to throw that in there.
Yes, you could also say that this episode will be trauma-inducing.
Will you let me do the intro, damn it?
Okay.
Oh, and with that, welcome back to Ridertown Radio's Comic Corner Manga Edition, where we are continuing from last time talking about Attack on Titan. Joining us once again from our last episode is Northcaster Saga, aka Cell, our trauma man. Say hi.
What's up, everyone? Glad to be back.
And as we said at the end of our last episode, this time we're talking about the live-action Attack on Titan movies. And, yeah, these are things.
They certainly exist.
Because, like any good anime, or at least any popular anime, they have to try and make it live-action somehow. But, funny enough, this is not one of America's bastardizations, as often happens. No, this is actually a Japanese production.
Yes. And take to that what you will.
I also love how on Wikipedia they actually class this movie, or these movies, as tokusatsu films.
I can see that, actually, technically.
Which means, technically, you guys could actually talk about this on Castranger if you could.
I'm sure we could. Wasn't the guy who plays Aaron, wasn't he in Kamen Rider, or...?
No, there are two Toku actors in this movie, but none of them are the main cast.
Okay.
Well, there's...
We'll get into that.
You're like three.
Well, there's the one that you found, which is kind of I don't know if that's...
I'm talking about the one that the hobo from an old Rider series, and then there's the two that we found in that one photo.
Well, yeah, the hobo's there, and then there's also the one chick, and then I honestly am not really sure if that really is who you think it is, but it might.
It says it is on the wiki page.
Well, if that's who it is, then okay.
Speaking of which, off topic, but it is semi-Toku related, I'm curious. Did you guys see the Power Rangers Zord posters?
Oh yeah, I saw the three that were put up, the Tyranno, Mammoth, and Tricera.
Oh, they did them all. They did all of 5.
I didn't see the other two, I just saw those 3. That,
Just thought I'd ask.
Yeah.
They look
I will
cool.
say, out of all the ones that I saw, the only one that confused me was the mammoth. Because to me, it didn't look like a mammoth. It almost looked like, kind of like, what's the name of the Pokemon I'm trying to, it looked almost like,
Don
what
Fan?
was his name? Metal Kabuterimon from Digimon Frontier.
He said Pokemon.
The tank guy from Digimon Toku. It looked almost something like that. With like the giant forehead cannon thing. And then the 2 little sidearms.
But anyway.
Yep, so, the thing in question that we are discussing, the Attack on Titan live-action films were, let's see here, just looking for a little bit of background on these. 2015 Toku film based on the manga of the same name by Hajime Izuyama, film directed by whatever, it's a long bunch of stuff. Film split in half for some reason, with first part being released in Japan on August 1st, 2015, and the second part, which is subtitled End of the World, was released in September. And I believe they were also had, or at least part 1 got shown in probably Los Angeles somewhere, considering I saw pictures of Dino Charge actors actually at a premiere for it, which was interesting.
I remember in Toronto they had, not a premiere, but they were airing it downtown.
Ah, neat.
At theaters. I almost saw that, but couldn't.
And according to this, for the box office, these actually made about $46 million in the U.S.
That's not bad.
And the budget for this was about $28 million for both of them, so...
Yeah.
Broke about even. So anyway, since this is an anime to live-action adaptation, I guess first thing we could talk about is just some of the transition between from one medium to another. And first thing on that for me is the fact that because obviously this is a Japanese production, the movie is set in Japan.
Yes. Gone are the European backgrounds and characters, but for some reason, a couple of them still have Germanic names.
Yeah, so the cast listing, at least based off of what comes from the manga/anime, you have obviously Eren, you have Armin, you have Mikasa, you have Jean for some reason, and then you also have Sasha and the best character in the movie, Hanji.
Yes, who is actually named Hans in the movie.
I know, but I will.
I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, still Hans. Yes.
Yeah, I think I remember the subs I watched for it said Hans, but let's be honest here. We will be calling her Hanji because that is her name.
Yes, indeed.
And then, of course, we have a bunch of other side characters that they made specifically for the movie, but they are also kind of references to some of the side cast in the AOT.
Yeah, there's a lot of there's a few stand-ins. The most obvious one is Shikishima, who is supposed to be Levi, but isn't at all.
No, he honestly feels like just a fusion of a bunch of different characters.
Yeah, Levi, and I forget his name when they, for some reason, had to fuse these two characters together to make another character that's weird.
Yeah, we'll get into Shikishima I think that's his name. That's the way it's supposed to be said. Side character-wise, that's specific to this movie, you have the couple characters, Lil and Fukushi, I think is his name. Which
no, they were in the anime.
Well, okay, yeah, they were in.
They're named differently, though.
Yeah, I don't think they.
Yeah.
I don't think they ever.
The only two characters specific to this movie of the main cast were Sanagi and Hyana, right?
Yeah.
The fat guy and the girl.
The fat guy that could throw a titan over his arm.
By the way, I want to talk about him later.
Yeah, we'll get
this movie
into that
did
later.
A lot of things right, but it did something.
Yeah, so then Hyana. So Hyana happens to be one of our Toku actors, because that's Escape from Go Busters.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, which makes one scene later on kind of interesting.
And of course, there is the General Kubal, who is he's original to this film, and he does things in the movie.
I love how his name's Kubal, and yet he's pretty much almost bald. It's like they were making a joke on cue ball.
Could be it, actually.
I don't know, or that's just me trying to force a pun. Either one.
I mean, it is Ridertown Radio. That's 90% of our gimmick.
Yeah, mostly from you. You do most of the pun work.
That is true.
But yeah, so, movie set in Japan, and for some reason, none of the walls have names in this one, although, frankly, I'm not surprised.
Because they didn't want to name them after Japanese names or something. The walls are so unimportant in these movies.
Yeah, there's no titans in them either, which we didn't even mention that in the our last episode, like the end of the series or season, Wall Titan.
Spoilers, by the way.
Well, we already did the spoiler warning.
This one, it could make a little more sense. Okay, so the biggest, other than the fact that this is now in Japan, the biggest change is that this is in the future.
Yeah.
Now, granted, we don't know what time period Attack on Titan, the manga or the anime, takes place in, but it does have like a backwards sort of look. Like, I always saw it as the apocalypse happened like just after the medieval ages, and we're still like, coming back from that. That's why we do have technology, just not a lot. This one, very clearly shown in the second movie, happened in the future, our future.
Well, even in the first one, because like when they first show the wall, there's like a crashed helicopter sitting on part of it.
Like that could have been like World War II era. In fact, that's what I thought they were going for, because like the uniforms are very World War II. There's some very Hitlery stuff going on.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up later.
In the second movie, we clearly see like televisions and like Apple computers.
Yeah, it does get interesting with that one. So,
how did that product placement meeting go?
I don't know. They seem to love. They love to
show your computer in the same scene where someone is beheaded by teeth.
Well, they love to stick product placement wherever they can. I mean, there was so much Apple product placement in early Neo Heisei.
Oh yes.
I mean, Kamen Rider O's. Need I say more? Onk had frickin' Apple everything.
Mm-hmm. So sorry, you were saying.
But yeah, it's just like look, costuming. Since you brought that up, I like how they actually did it for this. Where unlike
the movie
like,
looked great.
well, like yeah, it's like also it's like with this these two movies, instead of doing what they did in the anime, where it's like everyone basically has the same uniform, it's just a different logo on the back. They all have very specific costumes because you have the scout crew, which still looks like the anime minus. Instead of wearing green capes, they're wearing brown capes, and then you have the garrison regiment, just looks like a standard uniform, and then you have the military police, which are basically Nazis.
Like they are Gestapoing it up,
complete with red armbands. It's just like
I loved it. I loved it.
So it's like the military police are a bunch of evil unicorns.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about the movie. Okay, so these movies start off basically the same way the series does.
Yeah.
Setting a.
Yeah.
It starts off, oh hey, is there something beyond the wall? Uh-oh, Titans.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like we get the standard, here is our dialogue explaining our world, and then, we see some scenes of the world, and then we have the scene with Mikasa and Eren and Armin around a bomb, no less.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, I'm sure this won't come into play later. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, I'll admit that's just me. That's a double-edged sword with me. Where, look, here's the thing. I'd rather they at least brought it up beforehand, so it is set up for later. It's not just there's a bomb we can use. Oh, okay. But at the same time, it's like, oh, yeah, I'm sure that won't be used later. No, yeah, there's totally just because. Yeah.
Yeah, and then, the three of them being rebellious, they decide, hey, let's go to the wall and see if we can sneak out. Of course, they get caught.
By
Sauda, or I think that's how you pronounce it.
Who is our Hans, which is weird, again, considering Hans is Hans in this movie.
Well, yeah, or Mr. Hannes from the anime.
Yeah.
Or as the abridged series put it, Hans.
But yeah, he catches them, and then it's just like, yeah, I can't blame you. I did it too when I was younger. And then then there was also a throwaway line where he mentioned something about previously chasing after Aaron's mom, but then of course Aaron's dad won.
Yeah, and it's almost like they could have done something with that, but nope.
And then
Titans.
pretty much Titans, because the Colossal shows up and kicks a hole in the wall and somehow creates wall meteors.
Which, to be fair, that happened in the show and everything too, so I can't give him too much shit for that.
Well, it's just for me. Well, just for me, it's just kind of goofy because he's not doing anything to the top of the wall. He's literally just holding on to the thing. He kicks a hole into the wall, and then you see shots later on where you just see bits of the wall streaking through the air as if they're meteors, and it's those hits were not from that high up. That should not look like that.
I think the director just wanted to make it more chaotic. And to be fair, that scene, the opening scene with all the Titans swarming in, was really well done, in my opinion, actually.
Oh, yeah.
This director, I forget his name, Shinji something or other, sorry.
Let me look it up while you're talking.
His big claim to fame was doing the special effects for the 90s Gamera movies. And those are really good.
Funny you mentioned old monster films, considering the soundtrack, but we'll get to that later. Shinji Higuchi.
Oh, that's it. And he directed Shin Godzilla, eh?
Let me just see if this has his directing credits. Yep, Shin Godzilla.
New Godzilla movie, which I'm really looking forward to seeing.
That's the one that's coming out soon.
Yep, very soon. So something that I also really liked, I liked how they redesigned the Titans in this. I really like how they did it.
Well, they pretty much look like just real people with creepy makeup on, which...
Yeah, it's so effective. But also what else they did, the Titans were always laughing for some reason, which was just...
Yeah, there was so much laughing.
There were female Titans, which was interesting. Clearly Titans.
Well, you don't have Annie here to be the one female, so...
Kind of
Went from
causing
zero
that.
to fucking creepy as hell in like 5 seconds as soon as they started laughing.
This was a brilliant decision. I loved how most of the Titans, their mouths were like ripped open, like to show that they just like their head as much as they can to eat, and just that was a great decision, in my opinion.
Yeah. Also, we had this silly little Titan with the triangular head that just like, you
that
poor
one.
bastard.
Yeah, the
You
nose
do.
head Titan.
Yep.
Yeah, the Easter Island Titan.
Your head is not a head. Your head is a nose.
Yeah.
Nose for a face. Isn't that awful?
It's like you jumped off another Titan's face and then just grew arms and legs.
Great.
I mean,
So,
that might be a viable option with a thing that happens later in the film.
But yeah, so Titans are running amok, as you'd expect. People are dying in glorious, gory fashion.
and the biggest difference they made here was apparently at this point, Aaron is already an orphan, right?
Yeah,
Him and
Aaron's an
Jessica
orphan.
Are a couple in this version, which fair enough. And it's not Aaron's mom who gets eaten by the smiling Titan. It's Mikasa.
Yeah, which I have a question about that later on, but
I already know your question, and yes, I'm confused as well.
yeah, we'll get to that bit when we get to that. But
Later.
yeah, and that scene, especially with when that happens, is it's like they're running for their lives, and then like they get swept into this crowd that's like running for this church building, which at least that's what it looked like to me. And it's like, first of all, you're running towards a building to cluster all of you together. That's bad idea number one. Number two, Aaron gets pulled into this thing, and they won't let him go back out to get her, so he just has to sit there and watch this. And then, after she gets, killed, air quotes, I love how, he actually leaves the building, and then the Titans actually hit it and just, tear everyone apart. And it's like, well, you just barely missed being part of a buffet.
Which
Man,
was,
it's like
again, a really
a
effective
crossover.
scene, actually. See,
Yeah.
that's actually the thing, the first part, 20 minutes of this movie, I really liked. And I was like, oh, cool. Is this what it's going to be like? Are they just going visceral with everything? And then, after that scene, nothing happens for about 40 minutes.
Yeah.
It's bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. I'm upset at Titans, but I'm not actually sure why. Bullshit,
Yeah.
bullshit. My sisters need me. Bullshit, bullshit. You want to fuck? Bullshit.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah. It's
So
just
it's right after that. We're introduced to the fact that Aaron and Armin have joined the Survey Corps, which honestly in this version doesn't feel like it's anything.
yeah, it's kind of weird for this version because in the scene with Sauda, however you pronounce the guy's name, because it's like Souda, so it's like
Sauda, I believe.
Yeah, okay, so Sauda. And it's just he mentions that they're going to start up a survey or a scout regiment to go outside the walls and stuff, and he's telling this to Aaron. It's like, hey, maybe you could join up or something because you can't hold a job for crap. Which that's another change up with this. The Survey Corps is now a job. It's not a whatever or however you would class it from the anime.
Yeah, it's not even and it's new, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, because it's
We haven't even attempted this yet.
Yeah, because it's you talk about it for, he mentions it before the Colossal Titan hits, and then you skip ahead 2 years to where this thing's already up and operational.
Yeah, which I don't know what the hell that was at that point. So
Yeah.
basically, the plan is they're going to transport a bomb to go blow up because this time around there is no armored Titan, so only one hole has been made in the wall by the Colossal Titan, right?
Yep.
So the plan is to take a giant old bomb to
the
wall.
plan is to go to this one location where there's a bunch of explosives, get the explosives, take that to the wall, blow up part of the wall so it fills the hole and is still tall enough to keep the rest of the Titans out.
Which, I mean, I guess that could work. I get the feeling Titans could eventually clamber over that. The point of a wall is it's sheer. Rubble, as dangerous as it is it can be moved. It can be. I don't know.
I
don't know.
Well, they don't have a giant boulder to put in front of the hole this time.
Yeah, we don't have that this time around.
And it's during the whole training camp sequence where we meet the rest of our side cast, including Jerk John, because basically that's what he is in this movie. It's just a gigantic jerk.
That's his archetype in just about everything Attack on Titan.
But that's the thing. He has an arc. That's again why John is one of my favorite characters in Attack on Titan. He's the only one who actually changes. And granted, he becomes less of a jerk ass in this movie, but it's like
it's so slight you can't really tell that much.
Yeah, like at the same time, it's just like, why are you here? Why does your dad have an eye patch? There's this weird little thing, like, where apparently you can sell people into the survey group. I don't know what the hell that was.
Yeah, because like John makes a comment about Sasha, and it's like, your parents gave you up just to save money because you're a glutton.
Which, did we just miss the point of her character? She's a glutton because where she comes from, there is no food. The fact that she has any at all here is amazing to her.
Yeah.
Hiana, she joined so her daughter would be like safe, which, good on that. That's a neat idea.
Yeah.
I can't say his name right.
Sanagi.
Sanagi. He's there because he's got all of his younger siblings he wants to look after.
And that dude is like so jolly when like you see him the first time, because it's like the scene where like you see all the members of the Corps like on one side of this fence, and then like all their family members and stuff on the other side, and so you just see him interacting with his siblings, and it's like he's just so jolly and happy about it.
Yeah, it's and I thought that was great. Like I thought there was interesting character development for him. I heard he was kind of a Connie like type character, like in the fact that he's like the jovial one.
Yeah, I
guess
I could kind of see that.
I mean, perhaps. But anyway, yeah, the mission is underway, and not much happens.
Yeah, because it's like, and now we get into a truck and just sit in the dark because you're not supposed to talk, because Titans apparently have really good ears. Yeah,
well, I did like that one guy who kept like saying, "Be quiet, be quiet," and then just the big hand comes out.
Yeah, when he finally gets it.
Oh, and one of the weirdest additions to this movie, and that's saying something. Why was there a baby Titan? Like, I mean,
I don't know, but that little fucker was creepy as hell.
That was the point. It was supposed to be disturbing and point taken. I mean, I guess it's kind of explained later, but I don't know.
It was just weird.
It was to cement the air quote relationship between Eren and what's-her-face who has kids that eventually tries to, like, rape him in the middle of the night chick.
Oh, yeah, Eren and Hiana, they kind of pushed the two of them together for
and one of them was pushing a little hard.
Yeah.
And then...
it was like...
Yeah,
like, so, like, there is that whole scene where, like, it's nighttime and you see the couple, they're about to go off and fuck because, last night I might be alive. Why not, right? Want to go out with a bang. And Tiana is just like, she's like getting on top of Eren, putting his hand in her shirt and just like, what is happening in this movie? And like Eren has that look too. And I remember watching that movie for the first time with my friends. We were just like laughing our asses off, saying like, this wasn't scripted. They just kept the cameras rolling. This woman is like just going after this actor right now.
My only thought when I saw that was...
The entire time she's like, will you be the father of my child? And I'm like, dude, what the fuck?
Winner first.
I should also point out that this is like after they discover that Mikasa's still alive.
Yeah. Well, no, that was the thing too, though. Mikasa is with our Levi at this point.
Yeah.
And, like, I mean, you get the feeling like, okay, she's with him now because, he did, like, bring her up to, like, actually be a badass in this version.
Also, I guess you can kind of presume that he's the reason she's even still alive.
Well, actually, was that what you guys were talking about?
Titan food shit.
Was that what you guys were talking about?
Yeah, the weird scene, like, later on, like, where you, like, before all the weirdness with Hiana, like, Eren goes to confront Mikasa and, like, talk to her, and then it's like, what happened to you? And, like, she pulls her shirt up and shows this massive gash on both sides of her, and just, like, Okay, how exactly did this go down that you got eaten and bitten like that? Because I'm trying to think, it's like, did
I have a
she get?
theory.
Cause yeah, like for me, I'm just trying to think. It's like, did she get bitten and then somehow she got spat out, or did like the Titan literally bite all of that out of her side, and then that's just grown back over 2 years or something?
Well, no. Okay, here's what I think happened. And if I'm right, this movie's brilliant, and also like just terrifying. If I'm wrong, then well, I have a sick mind apparently. Okay, so do you remember actually that scene right as the smiling Titan was looming over her before Aaron could get to her? She had just saved a baby,
Yeah.
like she had picked. I think what happened was the smiling Titan was holding on to her with its mouth, and she like put the baby in the mouth to like save herself and make it let go while it ate the baby. Because
Well,
Aaron asks, "What happened to the baby?" and she doesn't say anything.
no, I think what Aaron asked was like he asked what happened to her,
Yeah.
and then she says the baby got eaten, and then she says so was I, and then she shows him her scars.
Oh, but again, that looks like, I mean, just the way the scars looked, it looked like it was like just biting down, didn't like actually chomp through though.
Yeah,
You know what I
it
mean?
was maybe
I
like,
think that like she like sacrificed the baby to save herself because it's not like the baby would survive anyway.
Yeah, considering
I
its
think
mom was
maybe-
killed in the church.
yeah, maybe per se the baby was swallowed, and then as the Titan was getting ready to bite down on Mikasa, our discount Levi came in, fucked shit up, and then took Mikasa and ran.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
I
just,
don't know.
it's
I mean, it's open to theory, I guess, and that can be a good thing sometimes.
yeah, it's just really weird to think about because with that scene, especially considering the short series that they made for there that came like after this or sort of, well, not after. It's kind of a weird. It's like it's in a weird middle position, but apparently they didn't even have like the ODM gears until like about 10 months or so after the Titan attack.
Which, I mean, yeah, oh yeah, didn't they say this is new tech or something?
Yeah, it is. Because they made a after these movies came out, they made a 3 parts miniseries of about, I think it was like 20, 30-minute episodes set 10 months after the Colossal Titans attack, and so you see them actually developing the ODM gear, and you get to see one of their prototypes and stuff.
Oh,
So
interesting.
yeah, so it's not like anyone had any of them running around at the time, unlike in the anime where these things were already developed. They just weren't being used much.
Yeah, like it was mostly by the
Mostly the
I don't know.
Survey Corps.
Yeah, I mean Hans had one. Hans had them too, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
So yeah, it's like just that whole thing with Mikasa. It's like, how did you survive getting eaten with a scar like
Again, I don't
that?
think she was actually eaten, but who knows? I could be wrong.
I think
Maybe,
it was more like he was bitten.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
like for me,
lightly bit into, like, if like an example would be like if you go to like bite into ice cream, but it's really cold, so you let it go, and there's the teeth marks.
maybe.
So
And
Mikasa
then-
was definitely cold in this version. Bum bum.
Yeah, they basically made her really cold after that. That's basically her world is cruel moment, which...
Yeah.
Oh yeah, speaking of coldness, we should also bring this up. Earlier in the movie, they show Eren actually giving her his scarf.
Because she sneezed.
Yup.
Aww.
And then later on, you see it wrapped around her hand.
Aw, isn't that wonderful? Isn't that beautiful?
But yeah, so...
So yeah, the attacks happen of the Titans. The attacks of Titans.
Yeah.
In our first movie, and it goes as well as you think it will.
Yeah,
Where
pretty
everyone
much.
just starts getting like fucked up. Like we see like a lot of like the side characters getting killed.
Yeah.
There is some great moments though in that first like big climax where like we see like the characters start like actually doing awesome stuff.
Yeah, I just like see all of
Her
them.
bow, like taking out the eyes. That was cool.
Yeah, which that was interesting for me. It's like seeing her using a bow at first. And it's like for a while I was thinking, it's like that makes no sense. Why is she using a bow? But then apparently that's actually something she gets in the manga later
In
on.
the manga, there is this one chapter where she's like trapped with like a smaller Titan in this like house or something, and she's like defending some. It's like in her hometown, I believe, and she finds a bow and she uses it and to good effect actually. Like she manages to like keep the Titan at bay long enough to save her and this kid, I believe.
And it makes sense
And
for her to do that in the manga, though, because she had, if I remember correctly, she came from a hunting town.
yeah, exactly. And this, it's just she just has a bow, which okay, you know what? I can buy in the context of this movie. They go for eyes, which is something they do in everything. So I can dig it. Like she's specifically to blind them.
Yeah.
I can dig
Plus,
it.
you also have to think about it like this: since they're not the we protect the walls people, they're not going to give them the small amount of guns that they have.
Yeah, because guns
Yeah.
are totally effective.
Yeah, 'cause, you
But
know,
no, the best thing though, and like this is the best thing in all the movies. Earlier, what was his name? Sangwon? Saragan?
Tsunagi.
Sanagi. I can't say his name. Sanagi does the most amazing thing ever when Aaron and Hyana have woken up the Titans and they're chasing him. Motherfucker stands his ground like as the Titans are reaching for him, grabs its hand and flips it over him.
I remember when me and my younger brother were watching that scene, we just started calling Tsunagi Raiden because it reminded us of, I don't know if either of you guys have played or seen Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, but like the first boss of the game, the finishing move is it tries to strike you down with a gigantic sword, so like you catch it and then it's like spin it and chuck it in another direction, and it's like, well then, Tsunagi is our Raiden.
yeah. When I first saw this scene, I was like, wait, he's not gonna like for no fucking reason just turn into the armored titan because fuck logic, is he?
I'm
No,
glad to say
that's
it
a good counter argument.
I just loved it though, and you know what? It even makes sense in context where like he's using a move that is about like using your enemy's momentum to throw them down, and it's been said before, Titans are extremely light for their size.
Although for me, because I had seen this movie first before I saw the anime, I didn't know about that whole really light thing.
Okay.
So for me, it's just like, so this dude just happens to be super damn strong.
So this guy is Hercules.
I just loved it. Like when me and my friends were watching this movie, that had us actively cheering, like yeah, yeah.
At first, I was like,
Because his
yeah, wait, he's gonna die now. Fuck. Yay, he didn't die.
And then, like, later, it turns out, like, his thing is he uses a giant fucking axe to, like...
Yeah, just, like, whacking ankles and just, like, knocking them over.
That would be me. Just running around like, I can hit this.
I can do this. Ah!
Ankle biter, go!
Exactly.
So, the scene happens. Aaron gets his leg chomped off. Armin's about to get eaten.
Well, now, before we go there real quick, I just want to say that this is, like... Because, first off, this the movie did something with this scene which I actually appreciate a little bit more than what they did with the anime, because on the one hand, in the anime, Aaron gets his leg blasted off before he ever gets a chance to actually kill a Titan. In this one, we actually see him kill a Titan.
Yeah, he goes all, fuck yeah, I'm gonna kill people. Fuck you, John, you're a pussy. And then instantly gets his leg bitten off, and it's like, see? This is why you don't do what you just did.
And then you have Shikishima, who was at the whole time like egging him on and giving him like advice and stuff. Yes. He just like
fly, my little birds, fly.
And then like
fly, my cattle, fly.
And it's like after Aaron gets his leg torn off and he crashes onto a roof, Shikishima is just like, well, sometimes we get unlucky. It's just like, wow, you dickwad.
I love that scene. I thought, oh, humor. I remember that.
Yeah.
Dark humor, but still.
It was funny. It was like, go on, fly. And it's like, okay.
Also, I just love how, in this version, Aaron getting his leg ripped off must have been just excruciating. Cause he gets grabbed by the Titan, by the leg, and then just like whips his head, and then the leg just rips clean, and he goes flying.
Yeah, it's not that like in the anime it was bitten off. In this, it's like momentum is just pulling his leg off.
Yeah, whereas
he essentially got fucking gator rolled off of his leg.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Actually, that's what I give this movie though. It was visceral. Like you felt the blood. Like they used such good effects too. Like very good special effects for the carnage.
Yeah, and then like you hear like
bugged me was whenever they would have the blood splatter onto the screen effects.
Yeah, those are a bit much.
That can be a little like, okay, guys, come on. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, but yeah, to your point, like with the visceralness, it's like when you hear them crunching bones, you feel it. When you see all the blood geysering everywhere, it's just like, ugh.
Oh, it's great. It's
So
wonderful.
yeah,
Wonderful film. Terrible film.
but yeah. So like moving on with the scene though, we do have Armin gets eaten, and then Eren.
Actually, I thought was a cool thing where you actually saw the bearded Titan, the one that like actually ate him in the anime first, and you're like, oh, okay, there he is. Oh, they killed that one. What? And then the fat Titan gets him. I thought that was a nice little thing they did there. That was great.
For me, what sticks out the most from this is once again it's a difference from the anime where like Eren goes in to grab Armin, yanks him out of the Titan's mouth, and then in the anime he sits there and talks for like a good minute before he finally gets the chomp.
Yeah.
This one, it's literally pulls him out, turns to try and escape himself, and then gets hit with the chomp.
I will say the special effects they used for the Armin in the mouth thing for the tongue were spot on.
God, it was wonderful. Like, just like, it was like, I'm guessing it was like a giant sort of puppet, but like, ugh, it was gross and wonderful.
Oh, yeah. That's
Yeah.
where, like, sitting around somewhere now.
Oh my God, the scene where Eren is like sliding down the throat into the stomach.
Yeah, you just like watch him going through this thing and like landing in the acid-filled stomach. Yeah, which... Although I will say, for the thing with him in the stomach, I kind of still prefer the anime version a little bit better, just because, like, in this one, it's clearly he's in a pool of acid, whereas in the other one, you land in a pool of basically hot blood, and so you see all the body parts floating there.
Yeah,
and
like
stuff.
the other one, like the anime really did a good job of making it look like literal hell.
And then you have like the one like girl that somehow survived long enough for Eren to hear her talk before she sinks under the blood and stuff, and it's like. No matter how many times I see that scene is still just like still unnerves me a little bit. Just like
no, they did it. Yeah, I think with the anime they were trying to go for like third circle of hell sort of thing. Like this is like actually you're going to burn to death here. Like this it's red as shit and you're just loving it. This one, the movie, I think they decided they didn't want to do that. They wanted to do their own thing, which honestly I like that this movie did try to be its own thing. I don't hate this movie. I hate the second movie. First, no, this time they said, no, we're not going to make hell. We're going to make it like, what if you were in a giant stomach? That's what we're doing.
And basically, you can tell he's in acid because, like, when he does find Kiana, which all of the luck, he lands in the same Titan stomach that ate his potential fuckmate.
Yeah.
And like
all the odds.
Which, you know, he turns her face over and it's like you see half her face is burned off and just like...
Now see, I'm an asshole when it comes to gory things, so in the back of my mind it was just like, remember Eren, Jesus said turn the other cheek.
Not that one!
Yeah.
It's wonderful. So yes, Eren's in the stomach and he wants the power to kill all Titans. Okay, he has it.
Well, he just starts screaming and like...
I gotta say,
rage and stuff.
Like, which is what happened in the anime. I loved how they did it though when like he gets out of the Titan, where like both hands come out of the mouth to open.
Oh, that was
great. And then we see the Rogue Titan, and it was gorgeous. Like most of the shots of it were like you saw like the full body shots of it going on its rampage were clearly a guy in a suit. But I have no way of confirming this. I actually looked it up. I couldn't find anything saying so. Whenever they had like a close up of its head, like roaring, you know those like, and it gets all like sort of shaky. The camera. I think that was a puppet. I really want to say that was a puppet.
Well, I could see that being a puppet because no one's jaw is shaped like that.
Yeah, I mean, like I think the close up
CGI would be easier to do, but it would definitely be able to be seen more as the movie gets aged. But if they do it as like a puppet, it would look great. Like look at the chest burster scene in Alien. That still looks amazing because that was puppetry.
See, they used CG in terms of the Rogue Titan. They used CGI for what they needed for, very minimally.
Like
I think like eye effects and like maybe some of like the like you know the hair, maybe like not all of it, but like parts of it.
Or the badass scene where his hand like instantly regenerates, and it's like,
yeah, that has to be
that's badass.
Yeah.
And again, the gore effects were amazing when it goes on its little rampage. And
punching everything to death, stomping everything.
Yeah, and then he stops and our movie's over.
Well, no, of course not.
Okay, there's like a 2-minute scene of Shima like going, "Oh, hey, look at that! What do you know?"
Well, no, the thing that's most interesting about the end scene for me with after the Titan knocks. Actually, no, I should rewind slightly because there's an interesting bit of during his rampage where the camera kept cutting back to Sauda, and then eventually he says, "Oh, it's him," basically hinting, "Oh, he knows something." And then later on, after Aaron's basically run out of juice and crashes, he tells, somebody, he's like, "Hey, quick, cut him out before the Titan body absorbs him." And it's just like, for me, when I first saw this, because, again, I hadn't seen the anime yet, so I had no context for any of this, all I could think to myself, though, was, how do you know that? And then, you see Mikasa go up and cut Aaron loose, which, that's another interesting change from this, because, like, in the anime, once a Titan shifter pretty much like runs out of juice or whatever, their neck opens up and it's like an eject feature. Whereas here they have to keep cutting him loose.
Yeah, that was an odd choice they went with.
Yeah,
but yeah. So yeah, movie's over. Tune in next time.
No, we have to keep going because part 2 showed up.
Yes, part 2, which could have been all one movie. Like this movie, like it barely clocks like 90 minutes. I don't even think it does.
No,
I think they should have just bit their losses and made it all one like 3-hour movie.
Yeah,
they could have done that.
Yeah, I think if like they took out the opening and the end credits of the second one, it would be really short.
Well, yeah, actually, now that I even think about it, there's like a 10-minute recap. This movie,
there's a little bit of a recap.
Clocks an hour.
I think probably the reason why they threw the recap in is because these movies came out a couple months apart. It's just here's a quick refresher. I
get they wanted to, but it's like, come on, guys, you could have made this one movie entirely. It's weird. So anyway, they're at this point, the movie did a good job, I found, of like telling a single story in the first movie, but then like the second movie became really abridged. Like, oh hey, we need that court scene with Aaron, right? Yeah, well let's just have it in the other room over there. Oh, okay.
Well, you're also forgetting.
Let's have it in the room where the bombs were in some weird kiddie pool.
Yeah. Also, you're forgetting like before the court scene even happened, we have the scene where you.
Sorry.
You see the scene with Aaron's parents, and like apparently you see Aaron's dad giving him I'm guessing the Titan serum, and then you also see Sauda's there helping him, and then we basically find out what happened to Aaron's parents, which is the government killed them.
Because they had books.
Yep.
You can't read. Reading is for no one. We did forget one scene from the first movie, like where their plan gets fucked sideways because someone in a robe steals all the bombs and just drives it into the Titan's legs.
Oh, and then the chick who lost her husband, one of the fuck buddy groups, essentially hijacks the car from him and then drives it into the Titans because the original guy was just going to steal it for the actual Survey Corps that didn't die, that we find out in this movie.
Yeah, it's a gigantic mess of stuff. It's like, here, this one guy tried to steal it, and then here's this grieving girlfriend because her boyfriend got bitten clean in half, which we actually get to see that in this version.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, there's AG cut in half, and there's all this blood gushing out of him. Where it's like...
Oh, that was him?
Yeah, Fukushi. Yeah, AG was the other guy.
Anyway, back to the second movie. So, there's a thing where they got their guns trained on Aaron. They're going to shoot him because, hey, he's a Titan, right? I don't know. Is he? Maybe. I don't know. All right. But then Sauda comes up. He's like, well, I'm going to have a rousing speech. Dead.
I'm going to start spilling plot exposition. And then the general kills him.
Which I thought it was cool how he did it. He just pulled, using his riding crop, he pulled one of his men's fingers.
Yeah, just pushed on the trigger.
He got shot in the shoulder.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I guess it was the left side.
He's an emotional character, so getting winged is going to murder him.
Also, Sauda lets slip about Aaron having a brother.
Yeah.
which that goes nowhere. But I have a feeling if they ever do any more of these, that may show up again.
I don't know.
See, when I thought they were... Now, see, when I heard him say brother, my instant thought was, okay, I have two things that are going to pop into my mind now. Number one is badass Levi dude is badass not Levi is probably his older brother, and he's probably also a Titan. 5 seconds later, well, fuck me, I'm a fucking fortune teller.
Yep, because during the whole court scene, in comes a new Titan, and it's our armored Titan.
Oh, that Titan looked amazing.
Looks great.
And then we see like all these members of the Survey Corps try to take this thing on, and they get reduced to body parts.
Yeah, and I think
I just love there's there's just this bit where like all of the all right guys, let's do it. No wait, it's armored, dead, and then just like Hans, she's just like, okay, is the principal cast here? Let's go.
Yeah, it's just like you see him swing his arm at like 3 dudes, and they all just turn into blood splatters and body parts falling behind the main characters.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure because I had like 0.1 seconds to see if it was, but I think the chick that plays Akari in Ghost, because she is in this movie, I think she was like the person that got stepped on at like the very beginning of that encounter. Because like you hear what sounds like her stereotypical ghost Kamen Rider ghost scream, and then it's a stomp, and it's like, ooh, it's gotta hurt.
Wonderful.
Talk about
now she's dead.
Talk about 1 foot in the grave.
Yep. So Armored Titan grabs Aaron, runs off with him, and then later on we find out that he's been taken to a white room
with sand and a jukebox that plays some very lovely music.
Yes, it's the end of the world as we know it. No, it's the end of the world. Or don't they know it's the end of the world? That's what it is. I hear that a lot because my great-grandfather listens to serious radio country music.
And then it's in this room where we find out the truth behind the Titans. They are apparently humans.
Yeah,
they were humans.
My favorite part, though, was where Aaron was, like, freaked the fuck out about the jukebox. Like, what the fuck is this?
Of course, because he's never seen one.
Well, yeah,
I know, and I like that.
Yeah, it's consistency. But yeah, it's just
so
that whole
scene.
Find
out that, the Titans were originally an experiment to make, I'm assuming, weapons. Like biological weapons. But it turns out that the formula or whatever became a virus that went airborne, and we see some pretty cool scenes of worldwide chaos. And there is this one little moment I thought, oh, hey, they actually brought it up, where we see, like, I'm assuming an American situation, where we see a white person Titan.
Oh, yeah, it's like, it cuts to, like, a birthday party, and then it's like you look out the window, and there's, like, a Titan all of a sudden. It's just like...
Yeah, it's Titan Dave from accounting. I think my favorite though is the one where it's a very crappy like convenience store surveillance footage, and it's just girls in like a convenience store, and then just arm out of nowhere.
Giant arm. That was great.
It's just like, that's brutal but beautifully made.
Yep. So pretty much most of humanity that is Titans, and that also explains the neck thing.
Everywhere but Japan is Titans.
Pretty much,
which
and that's
begs to differ one question. Well, I shouldn't say one question, but it begs to make one thing. How big is Japan? Give or take, like the main island.
I don't know.
There can't be that many Titans there if you have to think about the fact that most of the world is walled off.
I mean, I don't know what I think they came up with ideas before they decided that they actually worked.
Well, there's something else that comes up later in the movie, which may be an answer for that, but...
Because, if they're only on Japan, after you wipe out the Titans in Japan, you can start living again.
Well, I don't know. Were you under the impression that they had a plan? Because I didn't.
No, I mean, it's a movie where 90% of the cast is to be continued in a pine box, closed casket, maybe a picture frame.
Yeah, pretty much. And but yeah, so that seems going. You have scenes going on with Eren and Shikishima learning all about the truth of all the nonsense, and then you also have the other crew still trying to finish their mission and deciding, hey, let's go grab that bomb that Eren was standing on in the beginning of the first movie.
Yeah, that's when they get it, and they just decide, okay, we're gonna go get that, and then Buddy tells Eren, hey, let's go get it ourselves, and we'll stop it. We'll save everyone.
We'll stop it with these are totally not the Taliban.
Yeah, which I also found interesting that their uniforms still had the wings of freedom on them, but the ring was red.
Yeah,
I'm guessing.
I thought that was kind of cool.
I'm guessing that, like, oh, hey, we're the AWOL group.
Yeah,
The group that supposedly died.
Yeah.
we were the A team. We were red team. You guys were blue team.
They were A squad.
Yeah.
We're A team with M4s and rocket launchers and an armored vehicle that probably survived an explosion it shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is pretty much where we find out that because Shikishima and his group basically stopped the other guys at the bomb. And it's like, hey, we're gonna go to the other walls, blow them up, and let Titans get into the interior and kill our government because they suck and blah blah blah.
Okay.
I mean, on one hand, he's right. On the other hand, he's a dick.
Yeah, his mindset is very questionable.
I mean, we have to think about it like this. He's not Trump. This is what happened after... No, I found out what happened. This is what happened after we elected Trump. We just kept building the walls higher and higher.
I'll build it higher.
I'm an asshole.
But yeah.
Yeah, so there's this whole thing where, wait, you lied to me. Of course I lied to you. I'm a liar.
Of course I lied. I've been eating an apple this entire movie. That's
Right?
Timothy's number one thing for being a bad guy.
Which, he just keeps pulling those pretty much out of nowhere. It's like, where are you getting these things,
Sasha
first and
has been
foremost?
pulling potatoes out of her ass the entire time, so
why not apples?
I can let it pass.
Well, it is Sasha. She is the potato girl.
So this whole scene happens where, like, Sange, like, he just, like, realizes Armin has a plan, because Armin always has a plan.
He's the smart guy.
And he decides, okay, we're going to drop a building on their car so they can't get us.
Pretty much, it's like, just give us back Eren or whatever, and it's like, Armin, like, tries to fake them out by, like, saying he'll blow the bomb up, and then, like, Tsunagi decides to go and, like, grapple a building to drop on their armored vehicle, which was loaded with explosives.
Because he's a motherfucking badass.
He uses that where, like, and like, he does the whole heroic sacrifice thing where he takes a full barrage of bullets and then just still pulls a building onto people.
Yep.
That was great.
That
was great.
Pulls the building down, makes all the explosives go off, and also we should point out at this point in time, Hanji was inside the armored vehicle.
Yeah, in my thought I was like, wait, no, so-and-so's in the... Oh.
Oops. I was like, wait, whoops.
Yeah, because, like, I love how, like, it's when Shikishima and his group first stop the other guys from moving with the bomb, Hanji walks out of the thing, and she's just super happy. And it's like, are those pre-war weapons? And just, like, goes all nuts and stuff, and then, like, eventually she gets on top of the vehicle, and it's like, what do you got in here? And it's like, oh, surface-to-air missiles. It's like, ooh, nice. Yeah, go take a... It's like, yeah, go take a look. And so she, like, jumps headfirst into the thing.
And then, in a very cartoon fashion, the door closed.
Yeah, so it's like, well, you were inside the machine when it exploded. Good job, Hanji.
You realize, of course, this means war.
Yeah.
But yeah, so...
So, yeah. Who survived? Our Levi knockoff. And he's mad. So what does he do?
Yep.
He goes Titan.
Yep, he takes one of the swords and just shoves it into his heart.
You could say his plot armor goes beyond bounds.
Yeah,
myself for that one.
Sure.
And then we actually see like this whole sequence of the Titan body forming.
That was
cool.
beautiful. I loved that scene so much.
Yeah, and then of course we see our heroes try and fight him off in normal form because like Aaron's about to try and stab himself too, and then like someone's all like, "You don't know if that's actually gonna work or not."
Yeah, I did love that. I'm like, I know, I'll stab myself in the heart, you idiot.
I think it was Jean who even said it too. It's like, you don't know if that's gonna work.
They tried doing their thing where like, oh hey, we're friends now, we can take them on together. And Jean's like, I'm not gonna let you have all the glory, and everyone's like, wait, what? And they all use their thing to like, take him down. They cut off some of his armor. Then Jean goes for the kill. Oh no, he's been had, and Buddy's about to kill him when Aaron intervenes, and they get smacked against the wall.
Smacked into the side of a building, and then a few seconds later, out comes the Rogue Titan.
Yep. Literally, it's like, haha, he's blind on his left. Oh no, he turned around. My one weakness.
What?
Yeah, he's blind on the left because Sasha put an explosive arrow in his eye.
It was great. Like, oh man, this is like the Gundam fight with Locke on it right before he died. Oh, he turned his head. He's smart.
Though it was cool to see the fight between the two of them.
I just wanted to see that Titan forming thing with Aaron, and not just I popped out of a building because Superman.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting. They never actually showed like the whole Titan transformation thing with Aaron. It's just like, and now he's a Titan and explodes out of the Fat Titan, and now he's a Titan exploding a building.
I will say I like the green glow effect that they gave it.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah. You know what this is a shame about the movie though? There was next to no other Titan action. That's which had was the first one we had was cool, when you see all them fighting the Titans. This one like 3 Titans show up. One of them is the Easter Island head one you see for 2 seconds. And then
Yeah, that was interesting. Like you see the Easter Island one outside the wall again, and it's just like, weren't you already in the wall? Why are you back outside again?
My thought was he came back outside of the wall, and I was like, okay, so something's going to happen. They're going to get attacked by that Titan. Rogue Titan's going to go fight him real quick, punt him in between 2 trees because his head looks like a paper football, and then he gets fucked over by the armored Titan. And then it's like, oh, no, that was us. We needed a scene with some Titan around the hole. Okay.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. It's like the Titans kind of vanished in the second movie. You see them around, but they're not doing anything.
They're there, kind of.
Yeah.
But then again, it's the second movie kind of just turns more into, it's a political thing. Kind of like what you said happens with the manga, where things get more and more political and less about the Titans.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of that here. It's like, oh, government sucks, and then it's also stuff like, you need to stay inside the walls to be safe or whatever. It's just
yeah, that got really convoluted at the end. Wait, who wants what? What? What's going on?
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Why do you want to close off the wall? Why do you not want to close off the wall? Wait, what? What?
Wait, you don't want to close off the wall either? We should work... Oh, I'm just going to kill you instead? Okay.
Yeah, it was just so bizarre.
Pissed me off so much.
Yeah. And of course, so Aaron and Shikishima have their fight. Aaron wins, and then we see them
Which, by the way, was a nice thing where they did set up how he won, with the.
Oh yeah, the smack to the head with his knee, because Jean and him had a similar fight in the first movie.
That and the helicopter fell down and he fucking Pacific rimmed his ass.
Oh yeah, just slam that sucker in with the blade.
Oh, fuck yes. Right in the murder boner.
Yeah, it's right in the one seam that his armor's in protecting.
Yeah.
And then we have the whole sequence of Aaron carrying the bomb to the thing, and then eventually he passes out on the wall, and you have Mikasa doing the Armin thing where she's just waking him up,
telling her she loves him, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess.
Well, it was just, for me, that's one interesting thing to note with that one. It's she slips the blade into Aaron's back, trying to cut him out of it or something. The thing goes right up against his cheek. I was like, dude.
Well, that wasn't the anime.
No, in the anime, Armin hit him in the arm.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It wasn't in the face. It was in the arm.
You're right.
I will say there's one thing that kind of bugged me. Looking at the wall again, it's like that's clearly built for Titans to climb. You literally have hand grips and places to put feet.
Well, that's probably more a production thing.
They can climb the son of a bitch.
I think that was more of a production thing, just for like filming and whatnot. It's like
make it look pretty, but it's like
they do that in WWE too, where like when they have the Hell in a Cell matches, which is basically just this gigantic. You know. But like if you look at like some of the walls on this thing, you can see like obvious holes for like hand grips and footholds because it's not the chain link for that is not as open as their standard cages.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So we get to our final thing happening in this movie. What is it? Turns out that Kubal lived.
Yeah, Kubal survived, and it also turns out he's the Colossal Titan.
Which I was like, wait, yeah, that makes sense at this point, because they're not going to introduce a whole new character. But it's like, okay, what was his plan?
For me, I want to know, how did he get the Titan power in the first place?
I mean, I guess because he did steal all of Aaron's dad's work.
Well, maybe he stole part of it before he burned it all.
I don't know. The whole thing, it's stupid, where it's just, he's the Colossal Titan. Okay, why? What was
For me, my favorite part of that scene, though, is like he's sitting there on top of the wall yelling at these guys, and then like Armin's like yelling back at him, challenging him. He shoots Armin in the leg, and then like Sasha gets pissed off and just like unloads about 3 or 4 arrows into this guy's neck, and just like, which I thought was kind of amazing because that makes Sasha more badass, and also just kind of cute in a way because the movie had been kind of like doing this thing where like Armin and Sasha had been hanging out a lot together.
The movie also has been metaphorically kicking Sasha in the dick the entire time, beating her down one thing after another.
Oh yeah, and also Kubal stepped on one of her potatoes at one point. So
yeah, like the entire time of both movies, it's just like you're gonna do something super badass, and it's gonna totally pay off for all this pain you're getting, and I'm gonna accept it.
And that's what we get. We get Sasha unloading a bunch of arrows into this guy's neck.
Before he can shoot them all.
Yeah.
Although he was wearing a flag as a cape at that point.
Like, yeah, I was kind of wondering, it's like, why do you have a flag on?
It was remember. It was one of the banners down in the courthouse after the Armored Titan Mario squished him.
Yeah.
It's just like it still just doesn't really make much sense to me. Like, why would you put that on there? It's not like your clothes were completely wrecked.
Like, he loves his country. I don't know. I don't even know what his plan was. So Colossal Titan happens, and Jean, because he didn't learn his lesson last time, goes for the kill without doing anything at first, and he dies.
Yep. They actually killed Jean, and then Aaron gets really pissed about it, and it's like, why are you mad about this? You don't like this guy.
No, but they're friends now.
Yeah.
Not really.
Anyway, so like Aaron and Mikasa, like they try to cut out the Kubal out of the neck. Meanwhile, the bomb is about to go off, but the timer was broken. So
yeah, because
then fucking guy Shikishima, whatever the hell his name is,
Shikishima shows up.
Yeah, and he's like, I've had a change of heart. Why? The end of the movie.
Also, Hanji comes back and unloads a rocket into the Colossal Titan's face.
Which was great. Well, that was great.
Yes. It's like, yay, Hanji's back. Woohoo! There's just something really strange about the whole fighting with the Colossal Titan, because you see Aaron and Mikasa zipping around in the air, and it's like, you guys are way too high up to have anything to hook onto.
His forehead. You're just swinging around his head.
I say Akam to all of this.
It's the Spider-Man video game syndrome. Oh, you're swinging in the middle of the air in Central Park? That makes sense.
So then one of the most amazing images ever happens where Armored Titan takes the bomb and just shoves it into Buddy's head.
Yeah, it's just like, climbs up the thing, jumps in the air, the Colossal Titan looks like he's got to grab him, shoves the bomb in his mouth,
and then
squeezes
the timer to blow it up.
And it's just like, boom!
It's like, metal as fuck, bro.
And then...
Then the movie's over.
Yeah,
Like,
bomb.
oh hey, we can see the ocean now. I'm like, did we solve any real problems here? Like,
Yeah,
what bugged me though was they saw the ocean on top of the wall.
yeah. Basically, they were sitting near the ocean this whole time.
which
Then again, it's Japan. They're an island.
It is an island. I mean, I'm okay with that. It's just again, like, wait, what did everyone want out of this, and what happens now? That's the problem with this movie in a nutshell. It has no goal. Like they took the whole like they took one story arc goal, which was we need to fill the hole in the wall at Trost so that the world doesn't starve because we can't handle another wall losing. This movie, it's like we need to cover the hole. Okay, I agree that keeps the Titans out, but then what?
I think it was supposed to be like then they would go exterminate all the Titans inside the walls, and then they could start
Farming again.
Yeah, because it's like farmland district, industrial district, and then rich people snob district.
You know what I just thought about that really doesn't make any sense? Kubal is the entire point of his character was he's the bad guy that is like, oh yeah, we're gonna take these explosives to go build the wall, but he's the one that doesn't want the wall fixed because he's the motherfucker who broke the wall. So why doesn't he just order his men to gun down everybody?
I honestly don't think they thought that through. Where it's just like,
well,
they're like, oh, the Colossal Titan needs to be in this movie. It doesn't really fit into this, though. No, but he needs to be in the movie. He's our mascot.
Well, no, I think what happened was, now that I'm thinking about it, because I'm trying to think like back to his dialogue and stuff, I think why he broke the wall is because people hadn't seen the Titans in so long. The Titans were basically being treated like fairy tales, like they weren't real.
Yeah.
I mean, and then like in the beginning of the first movie, they talked about, you know, doing a survey corps and like going outside the wall and stuff, and so his thing was like break the wall, reinstill the fear of the Titans and whatnot. I mean, it's still really dumb in a sense, but but like I don't understand where the long-term goal for that is. But
I also think it was also
thing.
There's too many people and not enough food. So if we break this wall real quick and let some Titans in, and then close it off, we can thin the herd, and then when it gets full again, we can just knock the wall down again.
Well, I don't think it was a case of there's too many people. It's because like
they don't do a good job of explaining in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've had that issue in the first movie with like Mikasa and her weird injury, and then this one just compounds it.
Very awkward relationship she has with not Levi.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
Very awkward to watch.
Yeah, the
especially
awkward,
when
like rapey kiss.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was in the second movie.
It's like, what is with these two movies and like very rapey imagery? God.
I don't know.
Japan, please.
But yeah, so
like
movie ends on like happy imagery. You see Eren and Mikasa on top of the wall being cuddly or whatever. You see Armin and Sasha being kind of cuddly, and then you have Hanji just cuddling a rocket launcher.
Which I'm okay with that.
But I love the fact that it's like, man, I would love to see the ocean. Well, here's where you were. If you look 20 inches to your left, there's the ocean. Part of the ocean was literally in the wall you guys live in.
Yeah. You know what I just found out? The guy who played Kubal, Jun Kunimura, he was in Kill Bill.
Really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
Yeah, do you remember Boss Tanaka? He's the guy Ren took the head off of at that meeting.
Yeah.
That's him.
Wow.
Interesting. I haven't seen Kill Bill, so...
Oh.
This movie, wow. That poor guy.
Well, I've seen other actors in, like, American films in worse roles.
You have to think about it like this, though. He gets beheaded in one film, and then he gets beheaded with an explosive in another. And this beheading also kills the real him as well.
Yeah. Which, we never actually mentioned that. Like, the internal shots they show of, like, the person inside of the Titans, that was an interesting effect.
The director of this movie clearly had a vision in mind, and that's what I give these movies credit for. They weren't just copy and paste, like, we're going to make a live-action version of one arc of a movie. No, the director had a vision.
Yeah.
Albeit a creepy-as-fuck one.
Which, to be fair, for this kind of movie...
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, one thing about this that kind of makes me wonder if they had planned to do more of these is the after-credits scene of the second film.
I get the feeling that they're gonna, like... But then again, everything has an after-credits scene nowadays.
Because, like, it just shows, like, outside shots, and, like, you see a bird, and you see Mikasa and Eren, but, like, it turns into, like, a television thing, and, like, you see someone talking about test subjects have escaped, and it's like, that's why these two are so special, or whatever, and it's like, you see the inside of that white room again with the jukebox, and, like, someone's hand holding a remote again, and a glass of champagne, or whatever.
Yeah,
it's
and
like,
you're just like, okay, we're going, like, Battle Royale on this? I don't know.
My thought
what
is,
it makes...
so Armored Titan somehow survived the explosion. Cool, because that was kind of his room.
Well, what makes me wonder is, if they do more of these, are they going to do something where, like, this city is actually an experiment, and there's more of them out there somewhere? Like, could we actually see the city from the anime? It's just, like, out there in Europe somewhere.
Maybe.
I don't know. Who knows?
But, yeah, so... I feel like if America ever tried their hand at making an AOT film, that's where that would go, would be the... anime city, because, you know, it's in Germany, it's in Europe, they can easily replicate that.
Now, here's my question. Would you want, like, young nobodies to be the characters, then, if America did do it?
Sure, why not?
Zac Efron.
Okay, since we're down this road, let's just, like, have some fun. Try and cast an American adaptation of AOT.
Okay.
Just...
Like, are we going like who we actually want, or who just looks like them?
Who do you think could play the role and make it work? I guess.
Let's see. Okay, who would make a good heir? Okay, you know, I'm trying to think like older characters like Hans and Levi and everyone like that. Who would be good for them?
Yeah, I'm trying to think who would be a good Levi. Because that's a hard role to fill.
Yeah, I mean, because he's got to...
I mean, most of the current or recent Power Ranger actors aren't doing anything. I'm sure they could fit some of the bill.
Jason David Frank as Hyans.
Jason David Frank as
gosh.
Levi.
Oh,
Jason
no.
David
I was
Frank
like...
is a colossal titan.
Oh, jeez.
He just
Just
walks
get like a
around with
Power
mat.
Ranger models for it. That'd be great.
Oh, gosh.
As much as he acts like a piece of wood, I would say Super Mega Force Red would look the most like how I would imagine a actual like English Eren would look like.
See, I could actually see that.
But
and, like,
again, he acts like he's made out of fucking cardboard.
well, the problem with that is you can blame the directing on Super Mega Force for that one.
You know who?
Because, like, if you actually,
Oh, you know who?
because I think if you've
playing
seen
Levi?
like,
Matt Mullins. I think that's his last name.
oh yeah, the dude from Dragon Knight.
Yes, I could see him playing Levi because he's already.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I want that now.
Yes.
That's perfect.
Wing Knight as Levi, please.
You know what I want as Hans? As Haynes?
Hmm.
Sean Bean.
It would be the only role where he doesn't die, because Hannes doesn't die either.
No, Sean Bean as Annie.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on.
Because he always has to play a bad guy who somehow
actually,
gets into some sort of predicament.
they would have to age him, I think. But like, you know who I think actually make a good Eren?
Who?
Dane DeHaan.
I don't know who that is. I was going to say Daniel.
Yeah.
Radcliffe.
Green Goblin from Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Oh,
Ooh,
okay, yeah,
yeah.
I know who you're talking about.
Or Daniel
I think that's how
Radcliffe.
you
I could
say it.
see him doing it too. I mean,
think
hell,
it's Dane.
there was a movie where he was a corpse that was a Swiss Army dude that had a boner that was a compass, so...
That would have been great.
That would be an interesting choice for that one.
I mean, it's not like he's been in millions of fandoms already.
Yeah, indeed. But yeah, it's just...
Or you know what? No, Daniel Radcliffe could be John, because I want to see Harry Potter being an asshole.
Go watch Now You See Me Too,
There you go.
True.
because he is in there and he is kind of an asshole.
Who would play the drunk dude? Soda.
Who?
He was like Sauda in the movie.
Oh, Hans. That's
Yeah.
Han. Like actual Haynes, Hans, whatever.
Yeah.
Sean Bean. I'd like Sean Bean for that.
Yeah, I could see that.
And again, it'd be one of the few roles where he doesn't die, because Hans doesn't die in the show. Or at least he hasn't died yet, because who knows what's going to happen in Season 2. I feel like the biggest one would be, like, who would you get to play Hanji? Because that character is just so hyper, and yet can do serious, and she's just all over the wall.
Who could play?
They're going to have to give her a wig, but Ellen DeGeneres.
It's like,
oh my gosh.
Think about it.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. That's amazing. Oh, man. But yeah, like, I won't be surprised if there never comes an AOT film out of America, considering this is one of the few anime films that I feel like, or anime franchises, that you could probably get away with having most of the characters being, white and not having people being all crazy over it like they were with that Ghost in the Shell film.
You mean the movie that's still
out.
coming out and people are still complaining about, even though even the people who in Japan are like, we never saw them as Japanese. I mean, hell, their skin is white.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like,
again, it's like, if you're gonna go for it. Like with this movie, like why is his name Jaeger?
Yeah,
doesn't make sense.
Actually, I don't even think they say his last name. They just keep calling him Aaron.
Yeah, I don't think they ever refer to last names with these characters. They just say all their first names.
Yeah, it was a Mikasa, Aaron,
Armin, etc., etc. Yeah, it's like no one's referred to by last name except for, like, I think maybe Kubal. That might be a last name.
Yeah,
it's just kind of weird.
I could see Yoshi being someone. Yeah, Yoshi Sudarso, Dino Charge Blue. I could see him being someone, maybe.
Yeah, that would be
he
hilarious.
He can be the motherfucker who flips the Titan.
They could adapt Tsunagi from that and just, like, flip the Titan.
You know what I just thought about? Because we're adapting, this is totally not on topic, but because we're adapting Ninja, and there was that whole cameo with the Yoshi, do you think they're actually going to keep that scene in for American audiences?
No idea. We'll find out.
It would be interesting, seeing as that's literally his brother in, like, real life now.
Yeah, I know, but still, it's going to be a case of, will they do it? Who knows? We'll find out.
Anyway, those were the live-action movies.
So, yeah, basically, I guess we'll just go with final thoughts, and we'll do it in two ways. We'll go with final thoughts as the adaptation of AOT, and then just as movies on their own. So, if you'd like to start with that, Sal?
Well, as adaptations, I like adaptations that are willing to try something new. They didn't go too far off to not be Attack on Titan at all, but they made their own stuff that they were a good enough story on its own. Granted, the story they were telling wasn't too great. As adaptations, they're okay. As movies, I can't see anyone watching these, other than, like, real gorehounds like myself, I can't see anyone watching these movies and liking them as just its own movie. I say, honestly, it's one of those weird things where I think if you wanted to see these movies at this point, you already have. If not, then just check them out if you're interested, but they're really more of a curiosity's sake and to see some really cool practical effects. And that's all I've got to say about that.
Alright, how about you, Noble?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, being a person who likes Attack on Titan, I enjoyed the movies. There is one thing I totally remember that we completely glossed over about the movies is the not Levi dude doing the whole "why can't there be a sexy female Titan" joke.
Oh yeah.
He totally did that.
And it's like, okay, so you're supposed to be that guy, Levi, and like 20 other people? Okay.
That's why I said he's basically a mix of, like, so many characters that just don't even really try to class him as, like, anybody.
You know who I wanted to see in this movie? I wanted to see Pixis.
That would have been glorious. It would have been funnier to have, like, someone being the Keith stand-in during, like, the training scenes.
Yeah.
All right, pencil dicks.
Oh, Keith.
But as movies by themselves, like I maybe someone who's more or less just heard the name Attack on Titan might check it out, but unless you're a really nice gore hound or you're into suspense like horror style movies, I don't think you'd want to watch it.
I'd recommend the first one over the second one,
Oh,
definitely.
hands down. Like me, I completely hate horror movies, but I love gore fest things. Like one of my favorite Kamen Rider seasons that I'd like to finish is Fies, and that's just because every time a human dies, you get this nice X-ray of their heart essentially exploding, and it's great.
Yeah, saying you hate horror movies, yet you're a bit of a gorehound. That kind of sounds like me with the Resident Evil franchise. I don't like horror films, but those movies are basically not even horror anymore. But you still get
They're action movies.
lots of blood and
Yeah, it's like, I hate horror movies, but I'll do like every single Mortal Kombat finisher, no problem.
yeah. For me, when it comes to these being an AOT adaptation, I think they do an alright job. I mean, like you said, Sal, they did their own thing, which, while still staying somewhat true to the original, which I do appreciate a lot. I mean, they kept a lot of the design aesthetics. One of the few things that they did change, which we didn't mention though, was like the ODM gears with how the reels on the back are just this one cylinder instead of like the two giant gear shafts like you see in the cartoon. But you know, those would be unwieldy as all hell.
Yeah. I also like how there's like all these just awkward scenes where they're like literally running with the packs and they're just like picking them up, like moving around, and it's like, yeah, those are probably really uncomfortable and really annoying to walk around with.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see them doing it all the time in the anime.
Well, yeah, it's a cartoon. Cartoon people don't have a burden weight.
Also, something else from this that I like the change from is like if you actually look at them when they're messing with their jackets a little bit, you can see holsters for the triggers on their ODM gears, whereas you never see that in the anime.
Yeah.
Their triggers just kind of like go up their ass and just disappear when they're not holding them.
You know what else I noticed? Did we mention the crawling Titan? He
Uh,
was one of the memorable Titans to break through the wall in the first movie.
I don't think so.
Because he
No.
was the one that got flipped like a bitch. Because he was like one of the like three main ones I remembered seeing through the wall, besides all the very overweight Asian Titans, and I was like, "That's weird, but okay, I can look past that."
There was there was cool ideas like where they just went with like the monstrosity of it all. Like there was this one at the very beginning of the first movie, like his eyes were like way too far apart.
Oh God, yes, I remember him. He was creepy as hell.
Yeah, I love how it's just like
it was Sid the Sloth as a Titan.
Still green. They headed north 2 days ago.
Yeah, I love how like these movies. There's so many like little scenes that they adapt from the anime. Like, I mean, we mentioned it earlier. You see the couple characters. You know, she's trying to revive him, even though he's been clearly cut in half, and that's like a reference to the anime. There's like a scene early on in the opening attack where like one of the garrison guys like sticks a flare in a gun and like blows his head off. And like you just see the girl like next to him, it's like, "What are you doing?" Bang! And it's just like her face is covered in his
she got some in her mouth,
blood
like,
and stuff.
He's great.
Yeah, and I think there's like a few other scenes that are similar to that, which I'm trying to think of, but it's not coming to mind. And it's just, yeah, overall as an AOT adaptation, I feel like they're all right. I mean, obviously, I can see why some people would get mad. Like Aaron never really got to the rage mode that he had for the whole show.
Yeah. And then there's the people that nitpick like, well, Mikasa's hair wasn't blue and Armin's hair wasn't blonde and blah 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 blah.
Wait, Mikasa had blue hair?
It was like, it wasn't black, air quotes. It was like a light blue, like a dark light blue, if that makes sense.
It was anime hair, but not really.
Yeah, like, I'm going to use an example that I know you won't know, Crunch, but like, Rukia's hair in Bleach is supposed to be black, but it always looks like it's a very, 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 very dark blue when it's in like the anime and stuff, because the color that they use for the dark gray for it has like a weird blue tint to it. It's weird.
I think I know what you're talking about. There's some animes which they'll do that with that color. It's like it's supposed to be black, but then like there's spots on it that look bluish.
Yeah.
And just looks out of place.
Like JoJo does it all the time. All the fucking.
Not surprised, but
and
yeah.
That's also
And then like
the anime where in one episode the color palette changes 16 times.
Hello, epilepsy.
Yeah. I got so confused I forgot what color fucking Jonathan's hair actually was. I was just like, is this the regular one? Or is this the regular... I don't remember.
But yeah, and then just as movies, pretty much they're just like they're kind of fun. You can have some fun riffing them with buddies and stuff, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff that just doesn't make sense.
A lot of it doesn't make sense. Again, I look at this more like a gag reel for some pretty cool effects and some pretty genuinely awesome moments.
Yeah, I now see, you know what I just thought about though, about like the whole idea of Attack on Titan? It's using the stereotypical like zombie idea, but instead of just being, oh, you turn into a zombie, it's you turn into a like 20-foot zombie.
Yep. The only way to kill it is cutting the back of the neck off. Yep. Because headshots won't do jack.
We find out is because of the whole people being back there kind of thing.
Yep.
But like when I first heard that, I was like, that seems stupid. Like I get that it's a gimmick because you need to have the fancy schmancy Spider-Man gear, but like, they shoot the motherfuckers in the head. And it's like, oh, okay, there's people in there, okay.
You know what was kind of weird for me, though, is like, I know we're supposed to be closing up, but we're still talking about this, is when I first saw this, because as I've said before many times by now, I saw this movie, the first part of this duology, before I saw the anime, so I knew nothing about the anime, I knew nothing about how any of it works, and I'm just watching this, and I see this scene with Eren getting eaten by a Titan, and then like he comes out of it as a new Titan, it's like, oh, is that how Titans are made or something? It's like you get eaten, and if your body's in enough of a complete one solid piece or whatever, you get puked out as a Titan or something.
Or if you're pissed off enough, you become a Titan kind of deal.
Yeah, or something like that. It's like, huh, interesting. And then it's just like, nope, Eren's just special. Because apparently his rage activates his Titan powers.
Special little snowflake.
He's essentially the Incredible Hulk of the Attack on Titan world.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, so that's the movies, and it's really sad that like the only other like add-on to this movie duology is that the 3-part miniseries that I mentioned, which I'm trying to find subtitles for this that were actually decent, but I can't find anything, and it makes me sad because I want to watch these. Because it focuses on all the side characters from the movies that don't get much time. So, like, you get more time with Sasha. You get more time with the couple. I think you actually learn how they become a couple.
Yeah.
You get more time with... you get more time with Hyana. And then, of course, the main reason I want to watch it, you get a lot more time with Hanji. Because, like, as I said, you get to actually watch her... build ODM gears, and I think you even get a scene of her with a Titan in custody like she had in the anime.
Yeah, she like in the movie, she always mentions how she wants to like dissect them, but they always evaporate and all that. Which that was insane when like she's talking about Eren like that, because I think like she mentions after he gets grabbed by Shikishima, and it's just like, oh, I wanted to dissect a live Titan, come on. It's like, you are crazy. Yeah. It's like, oh no, my test subject.
But in the end,
pretty much.
Aren't we all a little crazy?
It's like, oh no, my test subject. What? I mean, oh no, they took Eren. What a shame. Goddamn motherfucker stole my test subject. Oh, hey, Mikasa, how you doing?
And then, of course, if you think back to the anime, and like Levi makes a joke at Hanji's mouth, aren't you glad she's not the one dissecting you? And it's like, I would never do that. Don't lump me in with those animals. But yeah, so that's the live-action Attack on Titan films, and they are what they are, so explore at your own risk, I guess. And that pretty much does it for our Attack on Titan discussions, because apart from, again, this miniseries that doesn't have subtitles, so we can't watch it, and the only other AOT thing that exists out there right now is basically the Junior High series.
There are the OVAs.
Which, that's true, which I actually do need to watch some of those, because I know two of them, or at least a couple of them, have to deal with Levi and his backstory.
Yeah. But, yeah.
So, yeah, that's pretty much our discussions, and so with that, we will be closing out the episode. Once again, I'd like to thank our guest for joining us and just making this so much more fun.
You know what? Again, thanks for having me, guys. Anytime you want, just drop me a line.
Yep.
Yeah,
I have a lot of fun talking about all this stuff that it just doesn't matter.
Maybe later on, sometime next year, we'll have you on for talking about like CW season ends or something.
Okay.
I don't know. It's like that's mostly what we talk about on this show for comic stuff. Is like here's all the CW stuff.
Yeah, most of it says here's the CW stuff, and then the other show is just us doing your show already. Just 2 days later.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah.
Picking up the scraps.
Except we talk about Ultraman and Power Rangers as well.
There you go.
Yeah, so thank you all for listening, and we will see you guys next time on the Comic Corner. Who knows when and what we'll be talking about? Who the hell knows what?
Yeah, and I hope to see you guys back on Radio Sentai Castranger at some point. I'm sure you will.
Oh, I'm sure we'll find our way onto that program eventually.
I have the
You can never get rid of us.
plan to be a dick to Ichi, but I'm going to save it.
Oh, that's gonna be funny.
Oh, it's gonna be
Anyway.
great.
Well, yeah, so. Well, yeah, so thank you all, and we will see you guys next time. Goodbye.